Hey there, I'm going to show you how to batch process a huge amount of photos in one fell swoop. My name's Erin and I'm here in Lightroom. I've just imported a whole bunch of photographs that I took of my artwork. I spent 3 years drawing ENSO, and so here I've just quickly imported several hundred of these. I've been importing them now for a while, photographing in them and importing them, and there were over 900. So you need to make this as quick and efficient as possible. To pull your photos into Lightroom is very easy. You just stick your SD card in the SD card reader. It'll come up right away. Normally it'll even open Lightroom for you, and you choose import photos and videos if it hasn't already done so for you. You can select a source, which is going to be your card. It'll look for any images that aren't found. You can also search by different drives. You can see here that I have a number of external hard drives. And then you can copy as a DNG, which is a digital negative, which is Adobe's promise to always support this big size image file here. Sometimes I use this. Most of the time I just copy because I'm shooting in RAW. So if you followed along with my how to photograph your art video, then you'll remember that I always extol that you've gotta shoot in RAW. And I just copy them in. I don't move them, but this option is nice if you're moving from one drive to the next, or you can just add them in from their current location. So if you've already imported them onto a drive, onto your computer, you can just add them. I choose copy and I choose a location. I keep all of my photos in a folder called all folders here. I keep it on a 8 terabyte, that's right, 8 terabyte external hard drive. Let me show you. I've got lots of hard drives over here. I've got an 8 terabyte. I can't remember who the manufacturer of that is. I've got this 8 terabyte Seagate. I've got another, a WD Passport. I've got the big blue eye, and they're all really big and they've all got stuff. They're all full. But I keep all my photos in one folder here. All folders here on this 8 terabyte Seagate external hard drive. And then I organize them by year and a little bit of information. I like to use the season, spring, summer, winter, fall, because that just resonates with me. Then I might include the month and a little bit about the subject. If, here I went to the Pennsylvania Grand Canyon, or my mammal and her recipes, or in the summer when I shot some photographs of horses, or those types of things. If I don't have that, I might use just a name. So because I know these are the ENSO, these are under 2019 and 2020 ENSO here. So I choose the folder. Now I've already imported these because it was going to take a little while and I didn't want to waste your time. But once I've done that, you can turn on don't import suspect duplicates. This is a nice feature. If it thinks that the image is a duplicate of something you already have on your drive, it won't bring it in. And I like to set up a metadata, which is my basic copyright. So it's my name, the year, the copyright. You can choose that there if you have one saved already, or you can make a new one. It's super easy. You just go under metadata, give it a name, give it some basic information. So you can see here in red, it has some suggestions of the most important things that you should add to set up your basic copyright features. I'll show you that in another video more extensively if you're interested. Once you do, give it a name up here and create it. I've already got mine created. And then finally down here under destination, you tell it where to stick these photos, where to put them, where to copy them to. And so here you can see I've got that 8 terabyte Seagate backup here selected. I've got 2020, so it's under all photos, then under the folder 2020 and in the ENSOs folder. Now I've already imported these there for you, so I'm going to cancel out. That's how you pull those in. Here they are. All of them in here. Now let's see here. Let's scroll down. I've selected the first one, and I'm going to go down here to the bottom, and I'm going to hold Shift, and I'm going to select the last of those ENSO there, and then I'm going to just take a look at how many there are, and I'm going to pull them into a folder for working on. So over here I have lots and lots of different collections, but I have a collection going on here called 2020, and so this is the folder selection. So actually I want to pop this up. You can navigate through Lightroom by your hard drives and their folders. I don't want to work directly there though, so actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a new collection here. I've already made that, but let me show you how I do it. So I want to put these in their own folder called Create Collection, and I like to put them inside a collection set since there's so many of them. You can see here I have a collection set called ENSO right there, and then I make a little subset underneath. So these are ENSO that are done on a gray background, and so I've created a folder called ENSO Gray Background Set 2 because I had already photographed and added a bunch in. You need to select which collection set they're going to go inside of, and then it will include the selected photos, which is great. This is all default down here, and you don't have to do anything. Just hit create. It'll create that set there. So I've got a duplicate set, and that's fine. You can see a little discrepancy, 149. That's because I had included these doily ones. These are part of a different set. So I'll actually drag and drop these up here and remove them from that set by hitting delete. Okay, so now I can work on these. You can see I've got two folders, same name, same number of things. So if I want to get rid of one, I can just hold Control on a Mac and click, or right click with a PC and hit delete. It's not going to delete those images itself, it's just going to delete the collection. So that's what this warning says. It says it contains these folders, and here it says leave photos in all synced photographs so they can still be available on your other connected devices. So it's just a little warning. All right, check this out. So we're going to go to the first one. We're going to go up here. Now I shot on a white background with lots of lights, so I've got some good color here. To develop our images, I want to make sure that I've got some good light. I'm going to start by hitting auto balance, so just to see what it does. So you can come here and go shot or auto. You can do this very quickly by going Command U on a Mac. That's Command U or auto. Now I think it turns this a little yellowy, so I'm going to use the eyedropper tool to turn the background to a neutral gray. When you pick up this eyedropper tool, it selects gray. It's picking a target neutral. I can click and try out different locations, see how they look, and that doesn't look too bad. So once I'm done with that and happy with that, I'm good to go. And now here's the fun part. I'm going to go G to go back to my thumbnails. You can also hit spacebar. Spacebar goes in, out, G goes to grid. So that's your hotkeys. I'm going to scroll down here to the bottom, select all these, and now check this out. Under develop, down here at the bottom, click sync. And this bad boy comes up and allows you to sync all of these at the same time. So I'm going to check all, because I only changed the white balance and the gray. I don't need all these. I could do check none and specifically select the white balance if I want. And let's synchronize those. So let's go to G and watch them do it. So Lightroom is going to come through here and it's going to sync that setting to all of these images, all of these. So we should see it start to pop these into grayscale. So let's go to this one. Come on, you can do it, Lightroom. You can do it. So this is a really handy feature. Now, another thing I highly recommend when you're photographing a large number of images is to not only, follow the steps, follow the free checklist that I have for photographing your artwork at howtophotographyyourartwork.com. Oh, there they go. You can see them start to change. Um, that checklist will systematically keep you on track and help you remember all the things you have to do to get good photographs. But you'll notice here that I'm not moving these, so they barely move as I go along here. Sometimes they jump a little bit, but not much because I've marked where they are, and I try and keep that notebook totally still. Even, if I'm holding it down, you can see my hands here holding these down to try and get them as flat as possible. But by keeping that notebook flat, now I can crop these all at the same time as well and just really make my life a lot easier. So if I come into this one and I hit the crop tool, which is, well, C is comparison, R is crop. You would think C would be crop. I believe that's the hotkey in Photoshop. They didn't keep the hotkeys the same between Photoshop and Illustrator, which is kind of a bummer to me. But R, hit R, and now you can crop in on your artwork. So if you want to crop these bad boys, maybe even rotate just a little bit, grab this corner up here. You can see the arrow goes to a double-sided arrow. That's your rotate and spin option coming up. If you grab it from the corner itself, when it's got the line with the double arrows facing in and out, then you're extending the crop tool out. So I'm just going to gently kind of nudge this in. I'm not going to get too picky with this just yet because I'm sending these over to my art agent for review, and he'll select the ones he wants. And then I'll really get into touching these up with doing spot removal and anything else that needs done. Oh, and enlarging them in a batch process that I will show you. But right now, I just want to get this cropped, and I want to get a little bit more exposure here. I'm going to just gently pull that up. Great bit of advice I always heard. I heard for this from John Paul Caponegro, I believe, is to go too far and then pull back to where you can barely see the effect. So you want to go a little too far and then pull back gently. Now, down here in this right-hand corner, I have a little bit of white showing, and that's okay. So I just go back to R. I'm just going to spin this just a little bit till that's gone. Good. And now one more tip here. If you hold the shift key and come over your highlights, shadows, whites, and blacks here, I'm going to hold shift, double click. Shift, double click, shift, double click, shift, double click, and it will set these for you. And then I'm just going to do a little bit more exposure here, just where I like it, where it looks nice to me. And then I'm going to go back to the grid, hitting G, and now I'm going to hold shift, come all the way down to this very last one. These here are on a red background, so I'm going to have to do these separately, but the gray ones I can all do at the same time. Let's stop at the gray ones. So let's see here. Gray, first one, all the way to the other gray backgrounds. That is right here. Hold shift, and now go to develop, and once again I'm going to hit sync. This time I'm going to do check all because I did several different processes. I'm going to synchronize all of these, and Lightroom is going to batch process these. You can see them going boom, 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 cropping them all in and color correcting all of them the same way. So if you've used the same lighting, if you've used the same location, you can batch process these all at one time. Now I did make little jumps, so I'm going to have to come in here and just quickly, what I will do is I'll hit the space bar and then I'll just step through these. I'll hit R to make sure that the cropping is the way I want it. If it's a little too tight or not neutral enough, I'll do it manually. But it's a great starting place. So spacebar to be big, R to crop. Pull it in just a little bit. I can move things around. And if I find that that first one was completely off, I can use the second one or the third one and do it again. So I'm hitting G, and then I'm looking at this next one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this one, and I think all of these here need to be synced to that. So I just select the three I want and hit sync. Synchronize, right? and now it will fix those 3. So this is a quick and fun and easy way to quickly batch process a whole bunch of images. Now, it's not always going to be perfect because we are human and we make little mistakes as we photograph things. You know, you jiggle the paper around, maybe the lighting's just a smidgen different, but it sure does save you a lot of time in the long run. So there you have it. This is a quick and easy way to correct your artwork. So spacebar to get big, R to crop, hold shift to constrain your proportions, or just grab the edges and go where you want it to. This is just a quick review. Hit enter to apply those changes. Use this eyedropper tool to test out different areas for neutral and have some fun. So there you have it. Let's go back to the grid. You can see that I've processed a whole bunch of them in about less than 5 minutes. And now I will just go to each one, spacebar, R for crop, and I will systematically just make sure that each one of these is kind of where I want it. And if I really need to redo that, I can. But it's a great starting point. Like I said, keep your images still when you're photographing them. If you want that systems checklist, go to How to Photograph Your Art for the complete systems checklist, the ultimate guide to how to photograph your art. And of course, I have a course available. You'll see it after you get the free checklist. If you're interested in full-on videos demonstrating all my gear, all of my camera equipment, my setup, my layout, an inside sneak peek look at my studio, etc., etc. So there you have it. Have fun batch processing your images. Keep them still, keep them steady, keep them well lit. You'll save yourself a lot of time and a lot of headache. Thanks for joining me. I'm Erin Sparler. Check out How to Photograph Your Art for more details and a systems checklist. All right, get to work, folks. Bye-bye.